Amy Sample Ward. I'm the CEO at N10, the Nonprofit Technology Network. And prior to being at N10, I have worked in a variety of nonprofits doing advocacy work, doing online campaigns, doing trainings for other nonprofits, and that brought me to be here at N10. I feel like I've always been interested in this intersection of using tools, whether they're online or offline, whether it's, a mouse or it's a process or a way of thinking, anything that we could do to make all of our efforts to change the world better, stronger, easier to share. And so that's what led me to working in all those different nonprofits. I was always focused on finding processes or people or even technologies that would help us reach our mission faster or more effectively, and importantly, help bring more people into the work, because I don't think any of us could be successful all by ourselves. So we really need to find ways to bring more people in to be part of our work. What we do as an organization is to try to equip as many nonprofits as possible all around the world so that they can make good decisions about which technologies they want to purchase or spend time using, and they know how to evaluate the technologies that they already have. I think that regardless of whether it's in the US or anywhere around the world, we as individuals are using different technologies. We maybe are using Facebook or sending text messages to our friends or to our family. And we do this without thinking. We don't have to sit there and say, I want to send a message. How should I do that? We just use the tools that we use to connect with our friends, with our family, and even with other organizations. But then we come into our office, we come in for work for the day, and we spend all day crafting this long, beautiful email message that we're going to send out to all of our supporters, and we think that's all we need to do. We sent out this email, goodbye, good job, everyone's going to read it, everyone is going to respond. But that's not how we even work as individuals. Something happens. We come into the office and we stop being who we are, and, we stop thinking about the way that all of us operate, and we just send this one big email. Or we put one link up on Facebook and think everyone's going to engage. The invitation with the book is to remind all of us that we can continue to be normal people. We can continue to be humans when we're at work and say, I personally would share that message on Facebook. Well, let's post it so people can share it. It doesn't just have to be an email. What ways would we as individuals share these messages, post this content, and take these actions online? And don't think that just because, you would share it in an email, you should stop emailing too. I think it's really an opportunity to say, multi-channel means we don't care. It doesn't have to stay in email. If something was emailed and we want to put it on Twitter, share it on Twitter. If it was on Facebook and you want to call your friend and tell them about it, you can do that. But really, sometimes we get lost in the goals that we have for social media. We feel like, on Twitter, it shows our number of followers right there, and Facebook shows the number of fans right on the top of the page. So it prompts us to think that's what's most important, and we need to have as many followers, as many fans. But ultimately, those people don't necessarily have a relationship with us. That's just one more follower, one more person who probably didn't even see our message. Yeah. So I think the real opportunity is to let go of thinking you need to have this huge number of followers or, many, many fans. Instead, focus on making sure that anyone who does follow you on Twitter or watches your YouTube videos or whatever it may be, that they really do see those videos. They really do see your messages, and that there's a deeper emphasis on engagement and following up with them. For many organizations, that also means we need to move them out of that specific channel. We probably can't create a very deep relationship with an organization if we only ever can connect with them on Twitter, because you're limited in what you can share. Not all content can be on Twitter. So reminding our followers that, there's another place where they could get more information, or there's another way they could sign up for our newsletter. Making sure that we create that reminder or that, share that information so that we're able to encourage a deeper relationship. I do think that often organizations are just posting that content and never reminding people to really engage with them. They're never saying, we want to send you an email. We want to invite you to our event. We want to give you a phone call. They're just posting content out. And even if people wanted to have a relationship, they're not creating an invitation to do so. So really making that clear, inviting people to be on your email list, to attend an offline event, or even just to, visit your website and learn more about what you do. I think a lot of nonprofits in the U.S. feel like they need to use certain tools versus feeling like they know which tools make sense for them. So we've all heard of Facebook. Facebook is in the news, or, there's references to it just in popular culture. So nonprofits then feel like, I have to be there. That is where I have to be. And when we look at our breakdowns in the Nonprofit Benchmark report about the number of Facebook fans and Twitter followers and text message subscribers, etc., and we compare that to your general list, that's really when so many organizations are surprised, because they realize, you don't probably have the same number on your email as you do on Facebook. To have 10,000 people on Facebook, that sounds crazy. That sounds like so many organizations, would be just spending so much time in there to get that number. It's like just a list of contacts that they should just send messages out to. But think of that as a real relationship space, and not just a long list. Okay. There's a great example that I like to share that is from the Diabetes Hands Foundation here in the U.S. And they have a campaign, which for many organizations, a fundraising campaign is normal. We know what asking for money is like, but they twist it to use social media to not just raise money, but to really focus on behavior change, which is a very difficult thing to do, to really change how people act. And for the Diabetes Hands Foundation, they're serving people with diabetes, and they want to show them how they can be healthy in their lives. So in order to participate in the campaign, you have to exercise for half an hour in the day and then go online and report it. And when you do that, a sponsor matches and donates to the organization. But people are using social media to do this, so they are posting on Instagram, they're posting on Twitter, they're posting on Facebook, and the website pulls all of their content together. So when you log on to say that you did your exercise and get the sponsorship donation, you are able to see live all of the photos from Instagram of all of the other participants and see everyone walking their dog or going for a run, and you feel motivated and excited that you are part of this community. You're part of all these people doing this good thing. And I think it really brings that peer social piece of social media, into the campaign. It makes people feel like they see their friends and they're able to contribute. So it isn't just a fundraising campaign, but really a very social campaign. I think a big trend that's starting now and we'll see much more of as we go forward is this focus on integration. Really making sure that if, we're sending out emails to people with calls to action, we're able to track who took the action. If we're sending out an email appeal over here about donations, we want to be able to reference if they took that action before so that we can feel personal and relevant when we send messages out. And that's not a new concept, but the ability to really dynamically manage that data and track those interactions is becoming much more accessible to nonprofits at, a lower cost. And I think the piece that gets added in is this social component. Is this someone who is a fan of us on Facebook, and being able to track that in the database against your email. So maybe the email to people who are on Facebook encourages them with a Facebook share button. You're able to anticipate what content they might want and how they might interact with your organization, instead of kind of, flying blind, just sending out that email and not really knowing who does it go to and what are they going to do with the message. So I think that's, like I said, something that's starting now, but will really grow in the future as we're able to pull more of that data into the central database. In the US who've done really exciting things with social media have been one-person organizations or very small organizations, and it's because they felt like they had so little capacity, they had so little budget, they had so few people that they had no choice but to use these online tools and really engage with the public. And so I think that's something similar between the US and Korea, that there are just so many very small, rural, regional nonprofit organizations that feel very tight on budget, feel very tight on staff, and the opportunity is to use these tools to amplify the small capacity you might have, to find a volunteer online that you would otherwise not know, or to share your message and have so many more people read it or share it with others. But of course it takes time, and when you have very few staff, that can feel like a real burden. But I would remind people that you can create really valuable online content and relationships without spending all day on Facebook. If you just give yourself, even half an hour each morning or every day at lunch to go online, to engage with people on different channels, you can really start to see it making a difference, even if you just dedicate that small chunk of time. Because what matters more is that you're logging in regularly versus how long you're logged in for. I think anytime you have a really large city, especially one of the largest in the country, there's this feeling that there's just so much competition. There's so many other organizations and so many people that you're trying to engage, and it can feel really overwhelming. But I think organizations that I've seen do well in that situation are ones who say, we're not competitors, we both want the same thing, and what if we participate together on Twitter and we're always engaging with each other so that both of our communities really see, that we like each other, that they can work well together, and that you're able to cross-promote all the content that you're creating. So looking not just at, we're a big city, there's so many organizations, it's going to be competitive, reversing that and feeling like it's an opportunity to really join forces and find other people who can, be one of your Facebook fans or retweet your content, but really help you reach even more people. I love Korea. I have been to Korea, and I wish that I could be there, but being on video is at least close enough. And I really invite everyone, if there are resources that NTEN has created that you can use, please use them. And if you do something exciting or you have a great campaign or have a great project, we would love to know about it. I would love to hear from you and share with the world what you're doing. So please do not be strangers. 한국